Hello everyone, Ellen Woodbridge here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Australia. I would like to welcome you to the April Night Angels video hop. This month we are following a sketch and I am going to show you that sketch and you can have a look at how I adapted that for my card. So that's the sketch we are working with, and as you can see from my card, I have used the column, the circles, and the sentiment. I didn't use the frame around it, but you can always add or minus from a sketch to make it your own. The stamp sets I have used, and I will show you how I use today, are the Planted Paradise, and this is available in the annual catalogue, and the Happy Little Things, this stamp set with the matching dies. I shall show you the matching dies. They are these little ones just here, and I do keep these little ones with the set because they are so tiny. These are available on the online exclusive, so you can have a look at that on my online store, and of course if you want to purchase anything you can do that there. And if you have any questions about the card that I'm creating, please don't hesitate to ask. So to start the card, I have already punched out some 1 3/4 inch circles using the punch, which is available also on the online exclusives. Now I'm going to grab those. I have all 4, and these are the colors that I'm using today. I've gone for the Regal's color palette. We're using Shaded Spruce, Pretty Peacock, Gorgeous Grape, Crushed Curry, and I have bought in Grey Granite as my neutral. So I'm going to start with Shaded Spruce, and I have already mounted all of my stamps ready to rock and roll. I thought I had one was hiding. So from the stamp set, I have started with this bobbly stamp. Now you may be looking at this stamp set going, why is there a shaded and why is there a detail? So these are reversible stamps, meaning you can use both sides of the stamp. So if you have a look at this, most of our stamps have a halo around them, where this is cut straight down. So you can use both sides of the stamp and get a really nice, clear, crisp image. But today I'm just using them as normal stamps. This is the one we're starting with the Shaded Spruce. So I only need 1 circle here, and I will need my scrap piece of paper because I am stamping off the edges. So I do just like to have that scrap piece of paper. Kind of makes it a little easier for cleanup. So just make sure this is nice and evenly stamped. Just going to start somewhere in the middle, and then I am going to stamp from there. Okay, and I'm going to use a little bit down here. Well, that was not stamped well. Little bit down here, and then a little bit up there, and then I'm going to go here because of course I'm on film and I want to make this work as best as I can, as quick as I can. I'm taking shortcuts and not using enough pressure, but that is fine for me. I'm very, very happy with that. So that is our first circle done, and we are going to close this ink pad. So for those of you who may not have watched me before, I do have some hand issues. So I use my paper snips all the time to help me. I can use them, if I close the blade here, I can use them to pop open a little bit the ink pad. I use them to close the ink pad. As you just saw, there's a little divot there, and rather than getting ink all over my hands, which happens every time, I do just use the edge of my scissors and the divot. I use them for so many different things, and they do help immensely. And no, I do rarely never stab myself with them. So the next one we are coming in with is, well, Pretty Peacock. So this is one of the larger leaves, and I do really love the detail in this leaf. It's really nice. Now I've got to be very mindful not to rock this, because I do have that edge. Well, we totally touched those, not meaning to, but I did. So that is that one nicely done. I did do it slightly differently to my original, but that is all good. Give it a bit of a stamp off and I can wipe it down before I clean it. So to show you how I close my ink pad, I just pop the edge of my scissors here and push, and then it just flips back over and I give it a squeeze closed. So I'm now going in with some where do I put that ink pad? Over here. Some non-leaf colours, and we're going in with one of my absolute favourites, Gorgeous Grape. So yeah, I can tell the ink pads I use all the time because they are super duper simple for me to open and close. Okay, making sure I've got a nice inking here. Take that off, and I'm actually going to try and nestle this in just like so. So making an interesting pattern with what I already have here. So do that one off to the side. Now there's no rhyme or reason, I'm just kind of going for it. And what I will do with this little area just here, I'll just bring in this one leaf and just go in there, and that is my interesting pattern that really is but isn't leaves. And last but certainly not least for our circles, I'm using my favorite motif, which is butterflies, and these ones are super cute because I love that they have polka dots. So they are just a little fun. I am going to keep this ink pad, the Gorgeous Grape, off to the side because I will be using it for the sentiments. So what I generally like to do and how I card make is I kind of work top to bottom. So my card base is generally the last thing that I choose because I can't give you a real reason why, but it is just the way I work. That one's not perfect, but it's close enough. So I think my butterflies are going to be a little more staggered together than what they are on my original. And that is totally fine. I know I misstamped that one, but if I want, I can go back and just try and, because it's a photopolymer, I can line it up fairly well. That's fine. So that is my last circle. Just give this a stamp off. I'm going to leave this ink pad out because I'm going to take a scrap of my basic white cardstock, and we are going to stamp our word. So this is from Happy Little Things. So we have a solid stamp, an outline stamp, and the stamp, we've got some matching word stamps that we can build our own sentiment. So I like Celebrate the Best Day Ever, because the best day ever could be anything. It could be some great news, it could be a birthday, could be anything. So I like to have these kinds of cards available in my stash to be able to gift. Now I'm hoping this is straight. I do have couple of other pieces of paper. That is actually pretty good. I'm happy with that. And I'm finished with this, and I shall close it. Where all my other bits are there? And we do have a tiny bit of embossing that we shall need, not embossing, sorry, die cutting that we shall need to do. Okay. So here we are coming back with our gorgeous grape. And I feel like I was just telling you a story and it has totally gone out of my head because I'm concentrating. So to get this perfectly straight, I actually tried to offset it. So I'm going to try my very hardest to, this is going to be offset just a little bit, but I really like the look of offset. If you can line it up perfectly, that was a really big fluke in my life. And I'm going to take the companion sentiment, that was a word I was trying to think of before, and pop that one just there. That did not work as nicely as I wanted it. Just there. That should be enough room. If not, I do have more scrap. Okay, now I don't need my grey granite ink pad, but I had it there to show you the colours that we're using. So I'm going to grab my trimmer and trim this Celebrate out. So I shall go here to the bottom and just kind of show you how I do it. So I'm thinking that looks pretty good. And of course, I did not hold it as I should have. So I can see where I had the divot. So what I want to do is just hold this like so. And let's see, that's a little far away. So I can pop it in again and take off a little more. Let's see how we go this time. That looks as though that will be perfect. Let's see. I love that I can play with this and do it by eye. Let's see. That is perfect. Okay, so to trim the ends, what I did, and I'm just going to have to pop this out. So I've put the end of the E on the 1/2 centimetre mark and just close that. Hopefully I am on screen for this because I can't push my trimmer any further back. So I'm just popping that C roughly on the 1/2 centimetre mark and doing that. So I've used a scrap, which I love. I have got it as best as I can, and that is ready to go. So I've got that. Now I'm just going to remove all these scraps, otherwise they are guaranteed to end up all over my floor. So I have this piece. I'm going to grab out the die. So these are called the Happy Little Things dies. And I do have the choice. I've got choice of the flagged end or the little ticket end. And the little ticket end is a little shorter and works well with this shorter sentiment. So you've got these A Peaceful Season, and if you wanted the flagged end, this card is so busy, I did want to go to something a little more simple. So that is going to fit perfectly. Going to bring in our mini cut and emboss machine. Pop that down, grab our 3 plates. So I have 2 of 2, and I personally use plate number 3. So I need plate number 3, plate number 2, and I'm just going to snip this little edge bit off because I have a feeling my machine won't be happy with that edge piece. So just pop that out of the way here. And I'm going to line up the die, blade side down. Love that you can see through the dies and line them up fairly well. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. If it's not perfect, that's okay. It's very rare that we make a perfect card. Now that did move just a titch, but I was able to move it back. I think it may be the tinsiest bit crooked, but it's handmade, not Hallmark. Hopefully the person that receives it loves it and loves the sentiment. So I do just want to pop this die back because that is quite crooked, but that's fine. We've got offset, we've got a little bit of crooked, it's all good. If you wished, you could do it again, but I have shown how in my first card that it is possible to do it, and I am chasing my die all across my table. So that is now safely back in there so I can find it and just pop these away, and we are up to assembling our cards. So what I'm going to do first is assemble all of our circles. So I should have 4 here. Yes, I do. And bring out our multi-purpose liquid glue. Open this. This is a very, very new tube, or very new one, so I try not to press too hard, otherwise I get an avalanche of glue. So that one's great. So popping them on grey granite, because I did try originally to pop them on the colours that I have used to stamp them with, and it was all a little bit too much. So the grey granite worked really, really well to just give us a lovely neutral to showcase the colours, rather than not having your eye kind of go everywhere and not seeing everything that you've put down. Whoop. And last one. Pop that down, wiggle it into place. I'm happy with those. I'm just going to leave the glue there because I will need it, but in the meantime, I'm just going to pop dimensionals onto here. Now I am currently up to the edge of my dimensionals, but they still work really well, and no one knows that you're not using the middle pieces, and the edge pieces are just as sticky as the middle pieces, so they can definitely be used. lucky. Try again, try again, try again. So this one, and then I want this piece for the center. So I've already used half of these, which is wonderful. So I'm going to just make it so we don't have a saggy middle, and then take this long strip and just pop that on our little one. And ta-da, that is all done. So they will go on very last. And the card base we are using is Pretty Peacock. So I'm going to fold this, and if you wanted, you could take a basic white card front and use it in the center to stamp on. If I can grab my bone folder here, it's being very obtuse and not letting me grab it. And you could stamp these same motifs on the inside to decorate it. So whilst I don't always decorate the inside of my cards at making them, I definitely do know how you can make them look wonderful. So I'm just popping some glue here, and I'm going to adhere these pieces down. So no dimension on these at all, just sticking straight down. So some pieces I do want straight. Now that punch isn't so great, so I can cover that up by just going over here. So I'm almost going in a gradient up. I'm using green or a yellow green, then a blue green, going into purple, but I did want the butterflies to be yellow and sitting on top. So I could have the yellow at either end, just using that spectrum of colours. And then our butterflies at the top, enjoying all of that greenery that we have stamped. And just like so, I have our column. Okay, great. Now I'm going to apply glue on the back and stick that down. Then we have our sentiment and a few glossy gems to finish it off in my favorite Gorgeous Grape color. Even though I'm not wearing any Gorgeous Grape today, I can guarantee you it is one of my favorite colors. In fact, I'm always wearing Gorgeous Grape because or purple, because my hair does have a purple color in it. Just going to bring that over a little bit. I have made this basic white strip just a titch longer than what we needed, so I'll trim that off at the end, because I found I did cut this one just the tinsiest bit short, and I thought, oh, you're always better to go a little bit longer if you can. And then all I have to do is take my scissors, run it along the edge of the card, and I have the perfect length that only you guys know I didn't get right straight away. So we are going to use our take your pick tool that I may have just scratched myself with, and take these backers off. Oh dear. Just prise this off my glass mat. Oh dear. Just slowly, slowly. There we go. There we go. The acrobatics that some things in card making do. Seriously. Right. Got that there. Now this pretty much does, as you can see, go across the whole card. So what I want to do is There is a little bit there that I wouldn't mind covered up, but I do have our sentiments. Okay, so I've popped that on. Now I do have a little bit of where that isn't perfectly punched, but I'm just going to pop those hairy bits just under if I can. I can see that there. Just want to smooth it under, but it's better than what it was. And this one we are just going to take off and then add a few of our glossy gems. So there are two, I'll bring them over just to show you while I'm finishing this off. We can choose the Daffodil Delight because it is fairly close in colour to our Crush Curry, but I'm choosing the Gorgeous Grape. And yes, I am going to choose the Gorgeous Grape, and I am going to go with my other Take Your Pick tool. So I think I do need a little bit more putty here. So if your hands are strong enough, you can just twist that up. There we go. So I tend to twist it up and then take the pressure off. Then I just push that down, and then all I have to do is just push this off, and it's not, there we go. So what I kind of want to do here is just cover up this awkward space just in there. Now, I think I want to tease it out just a little bit. So if you've got an awkward space like I created there, a good way to cover it up is with a gem. Just there we go. That is perfect. So I've taken away a lot of those lines and I've added that over the top, which really, really does help quite a lot. Okay, so I'm going to pop this one kind of here. And do you know what? I think I want 3 at the bottom this time, because if I pop another one there, it may be a little bit awkward. So let me just pop this big one kind of down here. Pop our middle one up here. So I'm going over those edges and just making them a little less awkward. Now, I may move this one a little bit further down. We shall see. So you can see how the putty holds this quite nicely. So actually what I do want to do is just move this one over just a titch. And if it doesn't come off and rip, it will stay. Came off. Yay. And on my finger. And that can go there. So I've just got a tiny bit of putty that's stuck that I can clean off, and that is my second card. So this is the original, this is the second, and the glossy dots just add something less papery to the card. You could also use some linen thread. I did think about using some, but in the end I went, oh, I don't think it quite needs it. So the things we have used today, we have used both the Planted Paradise and the Happy Little Things stamp sets. We used the sorry about that, guys. We used the 1 3/4 and 2-inch circle punches to create our circles. We used the glossy dot assortment. Yes, Glossy Dots Assortment. And as I said, you could use both of those. And we did do two-step stamping with our sentiment, and we used the Happy Little Things dies. So let's have a look at all the colours that we gathered together for this card. And I will show you just like this. So we use Shaded Spruce, Pretty Peacock, Crushed Curry, Gorgeous Grape, and Grey Granite. And so I've definitely channeled the Regal colours for this. I do hope you enjoy this and can use our sketch. So if you do decide to use the sketch that we've all followed, please make sure to tag Night Angels Video Hop on Instagram or on Facebook, and we can have a look and see what you've done. I look forward to seeing you next month, and thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Till next time, bye.